yourself that we will be back in such places as Latin America and Southeast Asia again. And I certainly hope that the commanders at that time, especially the Pentagon Building and our rest things, will realize that what I say is the truth. Things have got to be kept moving, and you've got to have at least half of your command continually on patrol. If I had been in the position of authority, half of the men would leave while on patrol for a week or several weeks duration. When they return, within an hour after they return, the other half of the command would leave, get underway. And by that time, by that system, you would accomplish 10 times as much as we have accomplished in the past.
Chesty Puller. Boy, it's hard to say something original that hasn't been said about the ultimate Marine of all times. 5 Navy crosses, worked his way up to Lieutenant General. Probably would have kept fighting all the way through Nam if they would have let him. His development of guerrilla warfare tactics in Haiti, or heading down patrol units in Nicaragua, to the Guadalcanal of World War II, and up even the frozen Cho Reservoir in Korea. He was salty, he was in your face, but he would die for his men without a thought. Chesty was known to have some pretty good quotes. He had a sharp wit and a great sense of humor. When handed a flamethrower, he asking, "Where the hell do you put the bayonet on this thing?" Or, "We're surrounded?" Well, that simplifies our problem. To this very day, Marines say, "Good night, Chesty," wherever you are. Let's dig into the greatest Marine of all time's life. Louis Burwell Puller was born June 26, 1898, West Point, Virginia. Later on, he would go by a name, Chesty. He came from a family of immigrants of English descent. Since he was a boy, he always used to enjoy hearing all the stories of the Civil War, Robert E. Lee, Stonewall Jackson. In 1916, when Mexico was at the border war with the United States, Chesty wanted to go fight in the battle. Unfortunately, he was underage and his mother wouldn't consent for him to enlist in the United States military. The following year, he would enlist in the Virginia Military Academy. However, World War I kicked off. He dropped out and wanted to go where the guns were at. He was inspired by the tough Marines in the Battle of the Bellewood and enlisted in the United States Marine Corps. Although Chesty never saw combat during World War I, the Marine Corps was expanding, and he attended non-commissioned officer school at the Officer Candidate School. Chesty had graduated on June 26, 1919 in Quantico, Virginia, as a second lieutenant. He was assigned to a reserve unit. They had reduced the size down to 1,100 and lowered his rank to corporal. The reserve enlisted was lowered to 27,400, and everybody was left on inactive duty 10 days after the war had ended. Corporal Puller received orders to Gendemar to Haiti as a second lieutenant. Chesty was finally going to cut his teeth on some action that he'd been craving since enlistment. During the United States occupation of Haiti, Corporal Puller received orders to serve in the Gendarmerie de Haiti as a lieutenant seeing action in Haiti. While the United States was working under a treaty with Haiti, he participated in over 40 engagements during the ensuing 5 years against the Caco rebels and attempted to regain his commission as an officer twice. In 1922, he served as an adjutant to Major Alexander Van Griff, who was the future commandant of the United States Marine Corps. He had received orders to deliver supplies to the Mirabels and Le Chacobas. These two small towns were located in a region where there was significant presence of Caco guerrillas under the command of Benoit Batreville. It was a high-ranking insurgent leader. Puller's supply party consisted of 25 mounted Haitian gendarmes along with the pack animals. Puller kept his force moving rapidly to avoid risking an ambush or night attack by the Caco. Puller was assigned Chief Assistant, Acting Second Lieutenant Augustine B. Bruno, Haitian who was fluent in English. They were assigned to a new duty to begin offensive operations against the guerrillas. In October of 1919, Puller went on a patrol with Bruno and a mixed force of 15 American Marines and gendarmes. Would stay out 10 days, at which time another group would relieve them The unit, using night movements, made contact on October 31st with a small band, killing 2 of the enemy, capturing 4 rifles, several machetes, and some swords. On November 1st, they arrested 3 suspected bandits. And on the afternoon of November 4, 1919, Polar and his men entered a small village of grass shacks 10 miles west of Mirabilis. The priest told Bruno that a high-ranking Cacos insurgent leader named Dominic Georges had a camp about 15 miles away. He and his men decided to take this opportunity to kill or capture Dominic Georges. Despite heavy rain, Polar took a small patrol of Marines and Gendarme out immediately. Polar scouted ahead of time in a small column during the night when they came upon the remains of a bonfire indicating a bandit guard post. The sentry would not see them clearly as it was very dark and his bonfire had been out by the rain. Bruno replied in a Haitian accent, "Cacos," at which point guards let them know. Polar were to infiltrate the camp, came upon a clearing with many huts and lean-tos. Polar and John Luce took firing positions on the ground after Polar sent Bruno to gather the rest of the patrol unit, but waited for the main attack instead of firing. Coco challenged the 2 prone figures so that Polar had to shoot the Cacos, starting the battle. The Marines and Gendarme rushed forward with an estimated 200 Cacos scattered. Polar and Jean Louis firing as fast as they could. Fleeing figures, after the government forces had possession of the camp, they found 1 dead Caco. Polar's patrol took 27 rifles, swords, machetes, and several dozen gamecocks. Among the booty was George's personal rifle, identified by his initials on the stock. Polar and his patrol spent the night at the camp and then withdrew to safety base at Mirabilis. Rebellion collapsed together when a Marine patrol killed Bottreville on May 19, 1920. A month later, the last significant Caco leader surrendered. More patrols by the Gendarmes and American Marines in the following year killed a further 85 Cacos. Later on, September 1920, Herman H. Hannekin penetrated the Cacao camp in disguise, arresting 5 chiefs while killing another. And by June 21st, a government military commander declared the country to be completely tranquil. Polar returned stateside and was finally recommissioned as a second lieutenant on March 6, 1924.